Okay, it's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I've got a very special guest here in the UK, Bob from Founders Brewing Company out in America. How you doing, Bob?
I'm great. How are you today?
Yeah, brilliant. I suppose you've been at the GBBF. That's the reason for you come in.
We were there yesterday. Yeah.
What did you think of the festival?
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah.
But obviously the beers come from a different history, a different background. But the beers were all tremendous.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them. Never get all great beers. Most of them were great,
Most
though.
of them are great beers.
Absolutely.
And my first question to you would be, in America, Founders, where did you begin? And did you expect to be where you are today when you began?
I don't think Founders ever expected to be where we are today. I think up until about 7 years ago, the brewery had never done more than 6,000 barrels.
Right, okay.
And the brewery was located in a very small facility. It wasn't until 2007 when we moved into our current location that we were able to actually expand the brew house and build our capacity up to the point where we could start to expand out to a broader geography, and that was when the brewery took off.
Brilliant. So my next question would be expansion. I was super excited when I visited my bottle shop in Cardiff in Wales, and I was able to get the Centennial, your All Day IPA in the can as well, and a few of your other beers, the Backwards Bastards. Fantastic beers. The one beer I can't get hold of is the KBS. Is there any plans to get that to the UK at all?
I can't say that there are any plans to get it to the UK at this point in time.
Yeah.
I can say that it's our intention, essentially, eventually as a brewery, to try and make sure that we make as broad a spectrum of the beers that we make as possible available to as broad a spectrum of our fans as we can worldwide.
Yeah.
As to the timing of that, it's all kind of up in the air at this point in time. But we don't want to cut anyone off, but KBS is a very difficult thing because of the barrel aging process and the limited quantity we can make and the demand for it. It's
a bucket list beer, but my next question would be, exporting to the UK, does that cause you at maximum capacity at the brewery out there now in Founders?
We are actually right now at maximum capacity. In fact, our demand exceeds our capacity over the last 3 months by about 10,000 barrels.
Wow.
So we're brewing currently at a capacity of about 258,000 barrels. We hope to have about 300,000 barrels of capacity by the end of the year. And in the meantime, it's a really tight crunch.
Okay.
So.
And my last question would be, when a brewery grows to a larger size, do you still have your little mini brew kits that you started out with, and do you still experiment with beers you want to kind of go into and produce and mess about with? Because that's really the fundamental reason why people go into craft beer is the fun aspect, is to do different things. Do you still do that?
Actually, what the brewery just acquired last year, we've had it in place for not quite 2 years now, is a 3-barrel brewing system.
Right.
And so the brewers are now back to the point where they're doing a lot more experimentation and a lot more playing around and a lot more doing small batch beers that on that 3-barrel system that just get produced for our tap room.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what they love to do. That's what those guys really.
Great to have you on the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, Bob from Founders, and cheers.
Cheers.